Hi, everyone. Dr. Lisa Palmer, Dr. Mama Bear, coming to you live on pollen, poop, and popsicles. Kind of a weird title, I know. Pollen. So here in Florida, I know some of my friends around the United States have crazy amounts of snow right now. I'm jealous because when we tried to go skiing in North Carolina, it was ice. It was not good. So you guys can let me know if you were to ski, if it was icy, would you ski or would you just say, I'm not going to ski unless there's powder? And then are you living somewhere right now that's snowing? Because outside here in Florida, it is not snowing. It is raining pollen. It is sprinkling yellow bits of pollen. There's a lot of pollen right now. So the oak trees are dumping a crazy amount of pollen. When I'm driving, everybody's car is yellow. The black parking lots, it's like a yellow stream of pollen just flying across the driveway or flying across the parking lot. A sheet of yellow powder is like flying across the road. It is just insanity. And so around this time when spring appears to be here in Florida, pollen is off the charts. I don't even know what our rating is for today, but it is off the charts. So what does that mean? It means we're seeing patients with runny nose, with itchy eyes, with coughs, with lung issues, or just having a rough time with pollen. Now, why would someone have a rough time with pollen? Do you have a rough time with pollen? You can pop in the chat. If the pollen's killing you, let me know. Well, really, when it comes to environmental, I don't even want to call it a toxin, but things in our environment like grass or pollen or whatever, even mold spores here in Florida, your system should be able to tolerate, your system should be able to process those kind of things in your environment. And by process, I mean, okay, you inhale some pollen and then maybe a sneeze and that's it, right? You don't spend the whole day sneezing and coughing and eyes are watering and just miserable. The reason why that happens is that your liver is a big filter and it filters out the chemicals that you clean your floor with or wash your clothes with or put on your body. Some of you guys put chemicals on your body not knowing that they're chemicals, like different lotions, maybe different makeup. Maybe your shampoo or conditioner has some chemicals in it. Anything that touches your head, anything that touches your skin, anything that you're exposed to in a bathtub, your body absorbs as a chemical. And so definitely you want to find the purest ingredients. You can go to ewg.org and look up your personal care products and see if they're toxic or not toxic. What kills me is there's companies that make a certain type of personal care product for Europe, but then in the United States, they have a different brand that's filled with carcinogenic, cancer-causing chemicals. It's not okay. And so the chemicals that you use in your makeup, in your shampoo, in your conditioner, in your baby bubble, in your baby bubbles, in whatever, your liver has to process out those toxins. It's the same reason that when you're prescribed a medication, your doctor will periodically check your liver enzymes to make sure that you're not going toxic, that your liver's not failing because how toxic that medication is. I was just talking to someone who they have a family member or they have a patient on some kind of medication that's really toxic to the kidneys. They call that nephrotoxic. And so the reason why that doctor keeps checking the health of the kidneys is that that medication destroys the kidneys. One of the toughest cases I worked on is I had a patient that had heart problems. So she was on heart medication for her heart to keep her alive. And then she was on medication for her kidneys, and her kidney medication bothered her heart, and her heart medication destroyed her kidneys. So which one do you stop, right? Like you're kind of in a catch-22. We don't ever want anybody in that situation. And if I had gotten to her earlier, we could have found the cause of whatever was happening with her heart or the cause of whatever was aggravating her kidney, rebalanced out her body with vitamins and minerals, and never would have had her in this situation. Because once you go down the medication chain, every single medication has a side effect. All medications have to get processed in the liver. And what happens is you can think of the filter in your sink that's supposed to catch food. is, maybe you don't scrape your plates very good and there's little food particles in that filter, and then someone else washes the dish or rinses out something and there's more food particles. What tends to happen is that filter, that drain, will now clog up and all that dirty dishwater backs up. The same thing happens in the liver. The liver gets really toxic. And then the liver cannot filter out any more chemicals, any more environmental conditions like pollen or grass. And now what's happened is now that person has sensitivity to it. So there's products like Antranex from Standard Process that actually works on the liver, helps the liver to cleanse itself, so then you can get exposed to pollen and not like scratch your eyes out like because they're so itchy, or sneeze or cough. There's a product called Algerco that also can help with the liver, help with liver function. And so you can be exposed to things in your environment, but because your liver has less clogging in it, if you will, you can tolerate, you can handle, you can be around high pollen counts or high mold counts or high counts of impurities, that we can call them impurities, in your environment. So then that brings me to the next topic, which is poop. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Robin. Hi, Jonathan. Hi, Danielle. Is that we have patients that come in and they're not pooping, right? They might poop once a week. They might poop once a month. They might poop. The worst case I ever saw is a lady that pooped every 4 to 6 weeks. And she was going to her medical doctor. Her medical doctor's like, oh, just take Metamucil. Metamucil's horrible. And she would get so backed up that she would actually vomit. It was awful. And so oftentimes I can see, oh no, I'm freezing. Oftentimes I can see someone who's a new patient come in and they're toxic. They might have like acne on their skin, or their skin coloring's off, maybe a little bit yellow, their coloring's off. And it's because they don't go poop, right? They may not drink enough water. They may not eat any vegetables. They may just have difficulty. They might have a damaged microbiome from previous antibiotic use. They might have a damaged microbiome from using different medications. And because their microbiome, their environment of their gut, their environment of their GI tract is compromised, they're not going to go to the bathroom properly. Your poop should look like, there's a whole poop chart called the Bristol called the Bristol poop chart, the Bristol chart. And it goes through what poop should look like. The only poop that I agree with is a normal poop, which is also, in my opinion, what we should call a healthy poop, which looks like a brown banana. And not to be graphic, but I guess I'm already going there, is it should just slide out easily. It shouldn't be, you shouldn't have to push, you shouldn't have to strain. It shouldn't come out in little circles. That's constipation. That's a healthy poop. And most Americans don't have healthy poops. It should be at least one time a day. If you think about your dog or your cat, you feed your dog, it poops. You feed your cat, it poops. You feed your horse, it poops, right? But humans, because of what we're eating and because of antibiotics in our diet, and because there's a chemical called glyphosate, which is also an antibiotic, it's sprayed on everything, our guts get compromised. And so I recommend that my wellness patients do some kind of detox to lower their toxic levels of glyphosate, to rebuild the gut. That's preventative medicine. That's preventative natural health care. We're constantly being chemicalized, if you will. We're constantly being sprayed like bugs, right? With all these different chemicals in our environment, and the air that we breathe, the water we drink, and the food that we eat. And so if you know someone or yourself who's not pooping well, that is a sign of toxicity. That is a sign of imbalance in the system. And what we do is we look through quantum nutrition testing, we look to rebalance the body. We want you to have proper poops. We want you not to have crazy times with the pollen when your eyes are itching and you're sneezing and all that. You could suppress the symptom with Benadryl. You could suppress the symptom with allergy pills. You can suppress the symptom with allergy shots. Those don't even work. But it doesn't fix the why. You should not be reacting to pollen. You should not be reacting to grasses. You should not be reacting to mold spores. Now, like if you're living in a toxic environment where there's a sick building, mold contamination, that's the other thing. I'm just talking about mold spores in the air, right? And so in Florida, pollen counts are high. And if you're having trouble with that, reach out to us, Palmer Natural Health, reach out to us and we can help you rebalance your system so you can handle the pollen. We can help you rebalance your body so you can poop properly, and you'll have more energy, and you'll have better skin, and you'll feel better when you eliminate the toxins out of your system. Now, some of you guys tell me, well, I have kids. You don't understand, Dr. Palmer. I have kids and they won't take supplements. They can't swallow pills. Well, you could make them popsicles, right? So we do have some liquid formulas that you would be able to make a popsicle with. Sometimes kids get dehydrated, and you could take electrolytes, good electrolytes, not crappy electrolytes, good electrolytes like coconut water, and you could freeze the coconut water with maybe some fresh strawberries or some fresh blueberries. Get them popsicle molds and put sticks in, or use the molds, and you can make popsicles, right? And I was laughing when I was typing the title because I almost put poopsicles. I'm like, no, 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 no. You don't want to make poopsicles. That's like when your dog poops in the snow and it freezes. That to me would be a poopsicle. You guys that live in cold weather, you can tell me, is that the definition of poopsicle? When you take your dog for a walk and it's snowing and it's so cold, the dog's poop freezes. And then, like, here in Florida, it doesn't freeze like that. So you take your dog for a walk, the dog goes to the bathroom, city ordinances is you pick up the dog waste. So I'm just curious because I've never really lived in an area where things freeze. So like you guys in the north, do you take your dog for a walk and then it's so cold that the poop freezes and you have to pick up frozen poop and you have a poopsicle, right? So we're not making our kids poopsicles. We're making popsicles with coconut water. We're making popsicles with electrolytes. We're making popsicles with fresh fruit, because most popsicles on the market, if you read the ingredient label and teach your kids how to read the ingredient label, it has red dye number this and yellow dye number that and blue dye number this, which can be linked to behavioral issues, can be linked to problems concentrating, can be linked to problems thinking, can be linked to carcinogenic, meaning cancer-causing chemicals. Then a lot of them have high fructose corn syrup, which is 10 times sweeter than sugar. It can have artificial flavorings and it's like a fake chemical stick, right? So what is the point of that? Instead, you can teach your kid to make popsicles, right? If they're old enough, and they can use coconut water, or they can use organic juice. Cranberry juice has great positive effects on the urinary system, but cranberry juice is pretty bitter. So you could use cranberry juice, because it's red, to put in a little bit with the coconut water, and you can make popsicles, right? You can have different popsicles. My mom made one. It was mango, kiwi, and banana. And those were amazing, amazing popsicles. My daughter talks about them to this day. Grammy, if you're listening, hook us up with some of those kiwi popsicles. Those were really good. So I encourage you guys, project for this weekend, project for Easter, when the candy is going to be off the charts. Instead, if your family participates, instead of doing an Easter basket filled with crappy sugar, filled with artificial food dyes, filled with artificial flavors, most likely will give your kid a stomach ache, will make them hyper, will make them feel bad, and does nothing nutritionally. Instead, maybe you can put 4 different activities in the Easter basket and ask them, what would you like mommy or daddy or the family to do with you? So like a family activity instead of sugar overhaul, because like this sugar stuff's not cheap either, guys. Maybe you guys could, like my daughter loves crazy socks. So she loves Scooby-Doo. So I can get her like Scooby-Doo socks or whatever. So you can still enjoy the holiday. You can still have fun with Easter. But I would just encourage you to maybe change it up instead of tons and tons of sugar. And, I was a kid that would eat all the jelly beans the minute Easter happened, and start eating chocolate for breakfast and eat off the bunny's ears. And definitely I love Cadbury eggs. So you guys can let me know if you love Cadbury eggs. I used to eat the Cadbury eggs. And those are like sugar death, like diabetes in an egg. It's not even an egg. It's chocolate with like white, creamy, sugary stuff. Nothing good. Danielle says they did rollerblades and pickleball set. I love that. Do something fun. Buy them a soccer ball. Buy them wiffle balls. Buy them a tennis ball. Buy them. My daughter loves to read. She loves Nancy Drew. So I've bought her Nancy Drew books in the past. I just bought her a how to draw cartoons, which she got early because they were not good at surprises. Yeah, but just try to find alternatives. Your kids will be more engaged. They'll be less crazy and hopped up on sugar, and you'll have an amazing holiday. I'm Dr. Lisa Palmer, Dr. Mama Bear. If you're having trouble with the pollen, if you're not a good pooper, if you need help with your kids, I'm here to help you. Palmer Natural Health, 407-682-8444. Good night, everyone.